Hi guys and welcome to this video. Today it is again in English. Usually it's in German, but today it's in English because I'm with a friend, Kratos or Leo in real life. You can say hello if you want to say hello.
Hi.
Hi. Yeah, he's from Italy. We just met 2 days ago, I think, because we're playing a game on Steam which is called We Were Here, which is a free game, but you can play in multiplayer mode. Yeah, we also have to finish this one day, but we have been talking because we had to communicate with voice speak there. And Leo also mentioned that he is playing Age of Empires, but he isn't quite a pro at it yet. He's played Age of Empires 3 a lot, he said.
Yep.
Yeah, but he doesn't have a lot of experience with Age of Empires 2, and he basically just wanted some basic coaching. And he wanted me to explain him some build orders, and yeah, we are just going to do a very relaxed game today. And yeah, we just put the AI on difficulty on standard, and we'll just do some booming, and yeah, at some point when we are in Castle Age or Imperial Age, we will make some knights and do some attacks with our knights, and he chose the Franks for that, which is quite a decent choice, I think. Yeah, so without any further ado, I could say we can start into this. And the most important thing, as we are polite people here, before starting the game, we put in GLHF, which means good luck, have fun. So that's very important. And also, when we have finished the game, we have to type in GG, and sometimes also GGWP, which means good game, well played. Yeah, but we never put in this. Ease, that means winning was easy, that's very arrogant, so we don't do that. But yeah, this is very important to keep some manners here. Okay, so let's get into it. Oh, I'm Ethiopians, that's one of my favorite civs. Okay, so as I agreed with you already, I will just take my cows or my sheep and will send them to you, and then I will resign and just comment what you are doing.
Okay.
And I will just tell you this villager will go on wood, this villager on farms, and so on. And it's really relaxed, basically, so yeah. I mean, it's just standard AI. Usually I play versus extreme AI, so I don't think this will be a challenge for us. I don't know why it's not loading. This is really weird. Usually we should be in the game. I mean, we don't have a high latency. We are talking on Discord, so this should actually work. Okay, there are some cows here. First thing that you can do... I'm just sending the cows to you, and then I resign. So first thing that you usually do is taking... You have 3 villagers there. 2 are making one house, and then the third one is making another house. So that you already have 2 houses and 1 TC. And then you also have to produce villagers out of a TC. So, yeah, that should be the first thing that you're doing now. Can I actually pause still? No, I cannot pause because I'm out of the game. Yeah, you're making 2 houses there. And then the first 6 villagers should usually go on cows or sheep or whatever kind of herdable you have. And then you can also take the scout there. Can you click on the scout, please? And you can give him a number with control +5, which is a control group. And with the scout, you can look for more sheep or other herdables that you can eat now. Okay. Yeah, now you can take the villagers and put the villagers on the cows that are under the TC. There's another villager on the left. He's standing there. And you can take this one on... where are my cows that I've sent to you? You can take this villager also on the cows, or now that he's already gone up, you can make a lumberjack with him, a lumber camp. And you also have to to click on the TC. And on the TC now you will make new villagers. This is really important, because you have to have a constant output of economy. This lumber camp is not good. This one, please delete it. This is not good. You have to build a lumber camp close to the wood line, and this is just close to straggler trees, so it would be much better to build it somewhere in the north, directly to the wood line. Yeah. So Abwehr. Yeah, there's a small hole in there, a small gap. Yeah, that's a good position there. You can build there if you want to. Hello? Hello? Do you hear me?
Yep. Oh, yeah.
Okay,
Sorry.
because you're ignoring me, so I wasn't sure whether
Yeah, I'm
we
sorry.
still have connection. Yeah. That's a good position. Yeah. Okay. And the TC has to produce new villagers. The enemy already has like 3, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Oh, the enemy has already 10 villagers. This is not good. This is not good. You have to be faster with your economy. Yeah. And also, can you press F3 for a moment? Yeah, awesome. Because if you're pushing F3, we're not losing time by explain things. You should now take your scout, give him a number, like with control and 5, you can put him on number 5 there.
Yep.
And you can scout about the base and just look for some more herdables. And I think we are doing this just the first 3 to 4 minutes because before we get into Castle Age, because it's very important that the start is fast and that you know what to do at the start. Yeah, because if you already fall apart at the start or you are much slower than the enemy at the start, it's not really good or it's not really helpful in the end. But you know how to play in Castle Age because you simply won't reach Castle Age or will have problems before that. So
Okay.
I think it would be nice to restart the game at least once or 2 times just to nail the first 3 to 4 minutes, because I was also doing a coaching video with a friend of mine, and he's also about your level of experience. So he has experience with other real-time strategy games, but not Age of Empires. And the problem is that the start was a little bit too fast for him and it was too much for him. So people in the comments have already told me that it's better to just practice the first 5 minutes of a game and repeat that before going into Castle Age. And yeah, so that's basically what I would like to do with you. And when you now pick the scout there and give him this number, there is one trick. You can hold down the shift button, the left shift button on your keyboard. You can send, and then you can set points where the scout is going to go. And when you take the finger away from the shift key and do another last key with your right mouse, and this is basically the last point where the guy will be going. And so you can make like a way where the scout is going to scout there. And you don't have to tell him every time you go where now and where now and where now and so on. But the scout will basically find his own way if you do that. So that's a very good thing. And the best strategy is usually to go around your TC with a scout in a circle until you have found all your herdables. And usually you start already with 4 herdables that are close to the TC. And then there are usually 2 more groups of 2 sheep each time. So it should be usually 8 sheep in total. You start with 4 sheep and then you have to find the other 4. And that's very important because you need the sheep and you need to eat them so that you can produce villagers and to basically advance to the next age in a decent time. So yeah, As I said, it's really important to just get that down. Good. So let's go on with that.
Yep.
Take the scout now and do some scouting there and also make sure to produce villagers on the TC. And also one thing, if you click on the TC, you can set a gathering point immediately on the sheep, for instance. So if you click on the TC and say, go on the dead cow, for instance, the villagers will immediately start to work because now there are 2 villagers that are not working. And it would be very sensible to send these guys on food now. Yeah. And also there's one thing that you have to keep in mind, and that is decay. So berries do not decay, also fish does not decay, but when you slay boars or cows or sheep, they all decay because meat goes bad after some time, as we all know. And the problem with that is that every 2 or 3 seconds you are basically losing 1 resource. And if you, for instance, slaughter 3 or 4 cows now.
Yep. Oh, okay.
But you only have 4 or 5 villagers on it. The problem with that is that you lose a lot of resources because of decay that is happening to the animals. So it's also a good idea always to not slaughter more animals when you have to. And you can have up to 5 or 6 villagers on 1 cow, basically. So that's a decent number there. Yeah, now you can take the scout and go a little bit to the west. And you found 2 sheep. Now you can go to the north with the scout. send my sheep to the TC. Yeah, that's good. That's good. And now to the east a bit, to north, and there's another sheep. Awesome. And what you see there is a pond, and in the pond there is a shorefish, and as soon as you have 3 puddles, it's usually worth doing a fish boom. So if you have enough people on wood at some point, you could also consider making a dock there to make some fishing boats. Because the advantage is, if you do a fish boom and you also make a dock to put out some fishing ships, you first invest some wood into a building and the fishing ships, so that does cost you some of your economy, that's of course clear. But if you make like 5 or 6 fishing ships, that means that your total economy is bigger, and that's also important. Yeah, so making a dock, if you have the opportunity to make one, is usually a good thing to do. And in this case, I would usually suggest you to make a dock. But yeah, that's a more advanced thing that we can do again later. I don't want to throw too much information at you, because then you might get dizzy. Like my friend in this video, he got really annoyed or really angry at some point because I was throwing too much information at him. Yeah, but this is looking quite good so far. And the most important thing basically for beginners is that the TC has to be building, so the TC has to put out villagers. Yeah, because a villager or creating a villager is taking like 30 seconds. So if you forget to make new villagers for 2 minutes, for instance, which is quite a long time, that means that the enemy will make 4 villagers, most likely in this time. And when they're already ahead of you for villagers, that is a very rough position to be in, even if you can make stone walls and wall off to the enemy, because the enemy will be much faster. So the most important thing for a beginner is to make sure that the TC is producing, and there is a shortkey for that, or a hotkey. So if you put H on the keyboard, you will be put to the TC. And
okay, yeah.
Sorry, I had to mute myself. So if you're putting H on the keyboard, you can always check if the TC is producing, because yeah, if you already keep the TC producing all the time, you're already on a good way to be an average player at some extent. Okay, so usually the first 6 guys go on sheep, then the next 4 ones go on wood. So these 4 people that are standing there could go on wood. You could even send more on wood if you want to make a dock and some fishing ships. So in that case, I would say even up to 7 people would make sense. And yeah, now it would also be a nice idea to buy loom, because your farmers still have only 25 health points. And at VTC you can also buy loom. And when you have loom, you can lure in the boars and kill the boars. So what you would do now is put loom at the TC, take one of these villagers, and then you can go to the south, there is the gold, and there are 2 pigs. And you can lure in one of these pigs with a woman, for instance, that is shooting on the pigs. And you lure the boar back to your TC. Yeah, like that.
Okay.
And you already have loom. That's awesome. You go back. Now the other villagers are attacking the boar. And would be, yeah, best thing is if a boar dies right under the TC. Because in that case, yeah, you don't have to walk a long way to drop off the resources. So that was pretty decent, actually. Sorry?
Should I make another house?
What's your pop at the moment?
15.
15. Yeah, of course. You always have to think ahead in this game and make houses before you get pop capped, because this is what it's called. It's called pop capped. Yeah, you can make a house fair, but what I would rather do is take 1 or 2 guys off the wood line and make a new house with 2 people on the wood line. That's what I would do in this situation. So if you just take these 2 women, for instance, that are now standing at the wood line, you can make a new house with them. And I would delete the other 2 houses that are next to the already built houses. So you can delete that and just make a, yeah, or like there. I would just push it, just put the house next to the lumber camp.
Okay.
This is a little bit too close to the lumber camp because now it will be hard for your villagers to reach the camp. Like make one tile in between so that there's still a gap, so that you don't block your like that. That's okay. Yeah, so that you don't block your own economy. Because I have a friend, he has like 4,000 hours of experience, and he still does that. He always blocks my markets with putting a blacksmith in front of it and stuff like that. And I've told him that like 20 times, and he still does it. And it's at the point where I'm just thinking, whatever, I just have to take it like that. Yeah, you load in the other board. That's a very good position there. I think that was a pretty decent job of luring it. So that's a good thing. This one is done now. How much wood do you have now?
600.
600. You can take this woman that made the houses and you can make a dock now. You can go to the middle of the pond, go a little bit to the left and to the south. With this woman that is standing there, you can take her. And you can now make a new dock, like there, or even better, stop with the woman, stop. Now a little bit up to the north. A little bit to the north. With this woman.
Oh,
And make it just exactly in the middle. Yeah. Exactly there, yeah. Just there. This is the exact position where I would make the pond, basically. Yeah, this is perfect.
okay.
This is perfect because later on, when the fish is all collected, you can make... how is it called in English? One sec. You can make... Fish traps, yeah, okay. Yeah, fish traps. In German, they are called Reuse. You can make some fish traps with them. So it's always good to have a position where you can put a lot of fishing chips around it. And if you put it into a corner, for instance, it's harder to place the fish traps later on. And now you could start making some fishing chips and take the ship and so on. Yeah, and what you now also have is some idle villagers. We are not working. And the problem is, each villager gave us around 20 resources every minute. So if you have 20 villagers, if you have 10 villagers, and we are standing around for 1 minute, that means that you are losing 200 resources in that time. So you also should make sure that you never have idle villagers. You also can get on idle villagers by pushing on the period button, which is next to the comma. And you can always check for idle villagers, because every villager that is standing around for a minute or longer will waste a lot of resources, and that shouldn't happen, of course. So these guys could go on some straggler trees now, or the other ones that are standing at the TC, they could go to the berries and make a mill right next to the berries.
Yep. So... what should I do with these? Wait. Yeah, no, I cannot hear you. You can. Okay.
Hello, can you hear me again? Hello?
Yes, I can.
Okay,
Finally.
awesome. I think it was because of Discord, because yeah, on Discord sometimes you have a problem with the input device. Okay. That's good. What I wanted to say, this mill is not perfect because it's a little bit close to the stone, and I would have put it on the other side, so that later on you can make farms around it. Because now on the one side where there is the stone, you cannot
Yeah, I
place
cannot.
farms. And this is not perfect, but it's kind of decent at the moment. And
Mhm.
yeah, I would finish this game at this moment and start a new one with you. But it would be nice to make a summary with you what we have done. And yeah, would you like to start? What to do usually in the game?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, so what can you take away from the first coaching that we just made?
Okay, so I'd say I need to focus a lot on just the economy and just try to make as much villagers and try to be efficient as possible in terms of producing food.
Yeah,
And yeah, so there's like no time to let anyone sit idly.
yeah,
So I have to just try to be as organized as possible
yeah.
also.
What's the very first thing that you do in the game? You start
Take
with 3 villagers and 1 scout. What's the very first thing that you're doing with these people?
so 2 go to build houses and 1 builds a lumber camp.
Almost. You have 3 villagers. You take 2 of these, and we are making 1 house together. And the third
Okay.
villager is also making a house, but he is making the house on his own.
Oh, okay.
So this is the first thing. You make 2 houses with your 3 villagers. Then you can take your scout and give him a number. How do you do that?
Was it shift and then no control and then number?
Yeah, control and the number. I usually take the 5. So my scouts are always on the control number 5.
Mhm.
And then with a scout, with shift, you can make a path and he's going around with TC and looking for sheep. And then the very next thing, or what you can also do right after building the houses, you go on with TC and you make villagers. That's very important. You should always try to have as few idle time as possible.
Mhm.
Oh, you made some farms here with control. I like that. That's good. It would be much better to hunt the deer first, of course, but I like that you're making farms already. So this is not too bad. And yeah, basically you're doing that. You make 2 houses, you give your scout a number, you make him scout for the other sheep that you need to eat. And you also go on your TC and make new villagers. And the first 6 villagers, we go on sheep or cows, whatever you have, or sometimes it's also goats. So you're doing that then. And then the next villagers, the next 4 villagers are going on wood usually. So it's 6 villagers on food, 4 villagers on wood. And then the next villagers that are coming out are also going on food. This can be luring in boars, but also going to berries and eat the berries. But yeah, this is basically a normal start that you would expect. Today I've seen a very crazy game with another person who I was playing with. He had a very strange build order, but it worked very well. But yeah, he was a very experienced player, so he can do that. And
Okay.
I just would suggest that for a beginner or for someone that still has to learn the basic economy. But this is basically how it goes. And Yeah, I like that you now have your pond and you can do some fish booming. It's pretty funny because the enemy also still has spores and hasn't gone hunting, but also already has a lot of farms here. Usually you don't do that, so VI is also not perfect in the build order. But VI already has a lot of villagers out, so I think it's like 4, 5, 8, 10. VI has already like, I would say 15 villagers at least. What's your pop cap at the moment? So what's your pop?
Pop cap is 25 and I have 19 villagers.
19 villagers. Okay, so I think your economy is actually quite even to the Greens economy.
Mhm.
Yeah. Also, what's important, you should be making some walls. Can you send your scout to the position where you think it would be wise to wall in this case?
I'd say either.
I cannot see it when you pings. So just go. Let him go to the position where you think it would be wisest. If you play with AI, it's usually not such a struggle to wall because if you play with humans, you have to wall very soon in the game. So you would usually send your first 4 villagers off to make a wall. No, this is not a good position. This is the road that is connecting you with me. The problem is with humans, if you don't make walls, they might come in and make very inconvenient walls for you. But when you're playing versus AI, you can relax at the start because AI is not going to to make some angry walls there. Yeah, can you send your scout to the east, please? Because the enemy is in the east and there is an opening to the enemy. No. Go up with him in the north.
Yep.
Yes. And now there is one opening exactly to the enemy, and this is also the position where you should wall if you want to wall out the enemy. So now you have to go to the east. You will have arrived when there is a burr, because there's already a burr standing there. Go to the east, to the east, to the east, to the north, to the east, to the north, to the north, to the north. So there is a bear standing there. Do you see him?
Yeah, bear. Yep.
A bear. Yeah, and he's standing there. And this is pretty much a good location to wall. So this is also one thing that I wanted to mention. If you just want to boom and focus on your economy, if you make 2 layers of palisade walls and later on add like some stone walls to it, you usually have a lot of time to focus on your economy. Because VI is pretty stupid, it will send archers. And you can already imagine that it will take a very long time for one archer to destroy a wall with arrows. Yeah, so this is a good wall, basically. But you always have to be careful. Oh, you're sending 2 villagers. That's a good thing. Because sometimes you're attacked by wolves or bears on the way. And it's usually better to send 2 or 3 villagers so that you don't lose the villager unnecessarily.
Should the second layer be separated?
The second layer, it can be immediately connected to it, but you can also make a gap in between. Yeah. And now with a scout, you can also attack the bear so that you don't lose your villagers when the bear is attacking. Or usually the bear is attacking on its own. So when the bear is attacking you, with a scout, you can help the villagers to win the fight.
Okay.
But your scout should do fine versus the bear, which is pretty funny. Awesome. One problem, just the woman, if you click on it, she only has 16 HP, that is because before you load in the first boar. Yeah. And of course, it is not a very good idea to send a villager that is already wounded, because it's much more likely to lose this one in a will fight or in a fight with a bear or a wolf. So next time you should look on the HP and better send 2 villagers that are not harmed. So that you don't lose one, because if you lose one villager early on in the game, that's usually pretty painful. If you lose a villager in Imperial Age, it doesn't really matter, because at this stage you already have a lot of resources. So if you have 2,000 food and you have to make 1 new villager for 50 food, it doesn't matter. But in Dark Age, when you only have 10 villagers or 12 villagers, and you lose one, that's of course more painful, because this will be like a tenth of your whole economy. So especially at the beginning, it is very important to take care of your villagers, that you're not losing them.
Okay.
Yeah, good. But that was a lot of information. And I would say, just for the routine, let's start this over another time, or maybe even 2 times, just to repeat this, because this has to be fast, this has to be working. And I think it only makes sense to continue in the coaching if we have mastered this step, so that this is fairly decent and fairly fast. Okay. So
Okay.
yeah, if you want to, you can resign the game. You can click on the scroll there and quit the game and resign. And if you resign and don't just quit the game, you can also see what your opponent has made in his country. Yes, you have resigned, so you can have a look at what he's doing there. So he already made a lot of farms, but he didn't do on the boars, which this is usually pretty bad. But yeah, he already has a lot of food because of that. Let's have a look at the statistics. Yeah, if you look at the statistics, he has had a better economy than you, but not only because he had a little bit more technology overall in total. He also had a better economy because he had more food and you had more wood. But in the beginning, food is more important because you need food to advance in the ages and to make new villagers. So I would say his economy was a bit better than yours, but you had a fish boom, which is also great. Yeah, technology. Oh, you researched one technology? It's Loom. Okay, of course, yeah.
Yep.
And you even had more villagers. You had 22 villagers, you only had 17. So you also won that kind of fight there, if you want to call it fight. Okay, this is looking quite decently. We just repeat this and then we can fight the enemy next time. I think would be no problem. Return to main menu. Good.
Okay.
I will make a new lobby. It's really weird that we're having this background here. Do you have the same one with these ghost riders and this castle in the background and the green auroras in the background?
Nope.
You have another title screen than me. What do you see on your title screen?
It's just a city with a castle in the background, like with a rampart.
Okay, but it's not at night. It's daytime.
No, it's daytime. Yep.
Okay, that's weird because I always thought that people are getting the same wallpapers or the same backgrounds. So you're seeing another background that I'm seeing. Okay, that's really weird. Yeah, because mine is really looking like some kind of Halloween background. Like it's really icy, it's frozen, and yeah, you can see in the recording later on if you want to watch it on YouTube on my channel. Yeah, I have a really weird background. But okay, multiplayer, host game, coaching for Leo. Password is again your name.
Nope.
But I will also invite you. One sec, it's not loading up. Okay. I just want to see if the online friends recently played. Okay. Where is he? There you are. Awesome. There you are. We'll give you a 7 taunt. And then the common AoE greeting. It's the 30, it's Wololo, it's what the monks say. And you pick the Franks again. Okay, awesome.
Yep.
Good, let's add one AI. I can close all the... Actually, I don't even need to close this one. So we are team 1, this is team 2. Good luck, have fun. And yeah, we can start the game. I will send you my sheep again, and then I'm just looking what you're doing, basically. And you can already make 2 houses while I'm sending the sheep to you.
Okay.
Oh, now you're playing versus Hindustanis. We are a pretty strong civ in online games. Oh, I don't hope the game is crashing, because this doesn't look very good at the moment. Do you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, because I was having a small problem here with the game. But it's loading now. Okay. So, very good. Turkeys, send them to you. And when I resign, return to map. Okay, you're making the houses. Awesome. Now you can make new villagers in the town center. And take the scout here and look for your turkeys. This time it's turkeys. It's not a sheep or a cow. It's turkeys. Now a few people were standing there. You can already put them on a tree so that you get some resources.
Okay. Oh, there's a forest here.
Oops, you found the turkeys. Awesome. Now you can take the turkeys to your TC. Take all the villagers and put them on the turkeys. And don't forget to make new villagers in the TC. That's very important. Your scout, where's your scout? Your scout should go in a circle around your TC. Now he's very far away. The first and important task for the scout is to find all the turkeys or sheep so that you can collect the herdables. Now you put now you're eating the turkey not under the TC. That's not good. There's one villager. You can put him on the turkey, and when you click on the TC, you can set a gathering point. Can you press F3 for a moment?
Yep.
When you click on the TC with right click, you can set a gathering point on the turkey so that the villager immediately after being spawned gets on the turkey and gets to his task of basically collecting the food. Because now he was sent out of the TC and you have to send him back. And of course, that's wasting time. It's not a lot of time, but it's maybe like, I don't know, 5 or 6 seconds. But then again, equals to another 3 or 4 resources that you're not collecting in this time. So yeah, it would be wisest to put him on a track there under the TC. Yeah, so you should do that now as next thing.
Okay.
Okay, you can't see the map, right? So you don't see where the openings are, right?
No.
Okay, I should maybe change this in the next game. Yeah, actually we could change that immediately, but yeah, just let's practice the first 10 villagers and then make a new game. Yeah, you found the turkeys, awesome. Because if you don't reveal the map, you don't know where to wall first, and usually on Black Forest, the map is revealed. On maps like Arabia or Islands, it's usually that you have to discover the map, but on maps like Black Forest, you show the map to all the players so that everyone knows where they can put the walls, because walling is a very important thing, especially for the early game on Black Forest. And on Arabia or other maps, you also see walls, but not quite as excessively and as soon and fast as on Black Forest. And that's simply because Black Forest is much easier to wall. Oh, and now there's another villager. He came out there, and he did not go under the TC. If you put a gathering point on the TC, you have to click on the TC, and then with right click on a turkey, for instance.
Yep.
Okay, so now that's enough people on food. You can take these 2 people that are standing next to the TC and make a lumber camp. Take these 2 people and go to the east, please.
Yep.
Go to east. And a little bit more. A little bit more to the east, yeah. And now there is some kind of, how do I call it? It's not a hole exactly, but there's some kind of bump or indentation or whatever to the tree line. And I think that is a very good point to place a lumber camp there. So you can take these 2 people and make a lumber camp there. Oh, you even walled him in. But it's not even bad, because if he now comes with scouts, he cannot even attack your villagers. That's actually like a very good thing that you just did. That's like a pro move, like you walled your own villagers in. It's not bad at all. So... Okay. What's the enemy doing? Okay. All on the mill now. Yeah, the AI has a very strange build order if you play on standard mode. It's pretty funny to watch. Okay, so now you got another villager standing there. You can click on the TC, and with right click, click on a tree, for instance. That will have the effect that every new villager that is coming out is going on the trees. And yeah, you can send these 2 villagers on wood, for instance. And yeah, then you can gather the last turkeys or start to make a mill. And at some point, you can also start making producing or researching loom so that you can pull in the boars. Actually, it even works without loom, but at the beginning, I would always suggest to build loom first or to research loom first, because if you don't do that, it's very easy to lose villagers, and it's more painful to lose a villager than to research loom a little bit earlier than it's necessary. So at the beginning, it's no shame to research loom first. Okay, so to repeat this, we make 2 houses. First 6 guys go on turkeys or sheep or whatever. Next 4 guys go on wood, then again on food. And always important to keep the lumber, to keep the TC running. How much food do you have at the moment?
500.
500 food. That means that you could have made a lot of more villagers in that time. What's your pop cap at the moment and your population?
15, so I should make more houses.
So you have 14 villagers, right? You have like 15 people? Okay. Yeah, at this point you should have made more villagers. You usually go up with 20 to 24 people on Black Forest, sometimes even 26. But this shows me that you're at 500 food. Usually, when you're having 15 villagers, you shouldn't be at 500 food. That means that your villagers, that you didn't produce villagers all the time, and your villagers have already taken off the resources, so they already have eaten the turkeys. And that means that your TC has probably around 3 to 5 minutes of idle time. That's of course not good. So that's something we have to work on. But now you're making a mill. I like that mill. That's a good one. And when you're researching loom now, you already researched loom. That's awesome. You can lure in the first boar and also kill the boar next to the mill, because the mill doesn't only work for berries or farms. It also works for pigs or for deer. And you can lure in 1 boar if you take 1 villager and go to the north. To the northeast. Northeast. Yeah, there is a boar. And you can lure in that boar. Yeah, awesome. Now attack with the other villagers. And make your villager moving so that she doesn't get hit so often. Move her, move. Yeah. And you can kill the boar. Awesome. Good. But I would say we start over again, because you still had some idle time and you were still a little bit slow and you didn't find the turkeys right away with a scout. And I think it would be more sensible to just repeat that so that you get the hang of it. Okay, quit current game. And the enemy already had 500 more food collected and about the same wood collected. So your economy is still a little bit worse than the AI's economy. But I think you're on the right track there. Yeah, return to main menu. I just open up a new game. Multiplayer. Host game. Create lobby. And invite you. But this time I think we just play it through, because I think it should be very well possible for you to defeat the standard AI. And even if it's not perfect and you have some idle time or put people on wrong resources, I think it's also a good thing to win a game now, to play one through now. Because always just doing the start is also a little bit boring after some time. Kratos, where is he? I can't find you. You can also look it up in the lobby if you want to.
Okay.
So the game is called Coaching for Leo in the lobby. So you can look that up too if you're a little bit faster than me. Dorngard, Lex, James, Lower Dirk. Have I already skipped you? No. Moment. Wer is Kratos? I just sent you an invitation. Did you get my invitation? Hello?
I did not, actually.
But you're Kratos 2012, right?
Okay, I received it now.
Okay, awesome. So there's just some latency.
Yep.
Okay.
I will go with
Italians, okay, interesting. Good luck, have fun. And on we go into the game. Okay, I'm Mongols this time. My best friend, his favorite civ is Mongols. Dravidians, they're pretty good in late game. They're actually a water civ, but you're also playing a water civ, so that's kind of fitting there. So, I'm sending you 3 cows to your TC. And of course I resign. Let's have a look what you are doing. Return to map. Yeah, make a house there and take the other villager. He also makes a house. But why do you send them all on the other side? We have to walk a very long way now. I would just build the houses right next where the people are standing. But yeah, this is okay. Click on the TC. You have to make new villagers. And you can set a gathering point on the cow. Now take the villagers after the house has been built. And now set the 3 villagers on the cow, on the first cow. Yep, you can take them. Yeah, awesome. Smack up the booty of the cow and it's going down. So, you already take the scout, that's awesome. And you look for the sheep. Yeah, you can send them to... one sec, I've forgotten to uncover the card. Yeah, let's just make the first 6 villagers and then start a new game because I have to change the setting. You can go to the south now with the scout. I'm just pointing out the way for you because you cannot see us. West now. And there are even more sheep there. Yeah, awesome. What I like now is that your production is faster. You're putting out more villagers. Always make sure that there are always villagers in the queue at the TC. That's very important, that the town center keeps on rolling. And now you can send the first villager that is coming out. The next villager you can send to the woodline where your scout has just run along with. In the west. Whoops, and where are the cows that I sent to you? 3 cows, extra food. Yeah, or you can also go to the north, it's also okay. And now in the north with this villager, you can make the first lumber camp. In the north of a pig, if you go to the pig again, or where, yeah, that's also okay. Yeah, you can make the first lumber camp, put out the next guys. And after the 10th villager, you can maybe research Doom, or after the 11th or 12th, and then you can start luring in the first boars there. This is also a very important aspect of scouting, but you know where the boars are, because the boars each have 340 food, and so they are a very important income of food, especially as hunting is much faster than collecting berries, for instance, or collecting food from farms. So it's not also a lot of food, but it's not only a lot of food, but it's also food that you can gather really quick. So finding out where the boars are and eating the boars very soon or very fast is important. Because sometimes you're also playing with enemies that are stealing the boars from you, and that's really annoying. Yeah, now you're putting out the villagers on the woodline. Yeah, this is looking really good. Oh, TC is pumping out, I guess.
Yep.
Yep, that's awesome. And as you have maybe seen, there is in the east, there is also a pond where you can make a dock later on. So that's also good. Oh, and there are also some wolves here. There's one wolf, there's another wolf, 3 wolves. Yeah, that's sometimes a little bit annoying. I was once on a map where in the middle there were 7 wolves. And I had to wall in the middle because sometimes these maps are very open. Usually Black Forest only has like 2 or 3 openings, but this map had like 5 or 6 openings. And there were 7 wolves in the middle, and because of that, it basically was like impossible to actually wall off the middle until we were on Castle Age, because in Castle Age I could make crossbows that could kill the wolves. Or actually, I could have made some archers in Feudal Age too, but we was a little bit late, so I went on to Castle Age. And yeah, I just couldn't wall the map until Castle Age, so sometimes that really sucks because, yeah, as you can imagine, being on a very open map and not being able to wall is not very cool, especially if you're into walling a lot and building up your economy. Okay, now you have a lot of people on wood. That's usually not that good, but if you want to make a dock and make some fishing ships, that's still okay. You have 8 now on wood, but I definitely wouldn't go more. You can take this villager now that came out, and you can, for instance, build a mill on the berries there. That's one idea. Or you make a dock now, or you could also do on a pig. But if you have so many people on wood, I would even suggest making a dock first and then luring in the first boars there. And do not forget, you also have to make new houses. Your pop is probably at 15 almost, I guess.
Yeah, it's 18.
Okay. You made some new houses already. Sorry, I didn't realize that.
No worries. Should I make a dock?
In the east of a mill, there is a dock. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's also a very good position for the dock. I like that. It's looking really good now. I would even say, considering all, your build is now better than VAI, because VAI has a lot of people on berries, and this is not how you actually do it. Usually you would get in the boars first, and VAI has also made some farms, but started to build the farms and didn't really take any resources from it. This is really weird. Usually you do the hunting first, or at first the sheep, then the hunting, then the berries, and then you start to make farms. And I have to say, I like your economy. It's not perfect, but I like your economy more than the economy of the PC, what he's doing there. Because it's a really messed up build order. And he made 2 lumber camps, but for 4 people, he could easily have made 1 lumber camp for 4 people. So, yeah, as I said, I like your economy more than VAI's economy. Good. Now you can produce 2 fishing ships if you want to.
Yep, that's what I'm doing.
Yeah. And you can take this woman, for instance, and lure in the first boar, because now the villagers have eaten all the sheep, and this is the perfect time to lure in the boar. If you had lured in the boar when she was going back there, and when the villagers would have finished the sheep in time, this would have been perfect timing. But yeah, this is pretty decent. Usually it's best if a boar is landing right under BTC, so that they don't have to walk the villagers. But this is pretty decent. I like that. Also, this is good work, in my opinion. And now you can also send 2 more on the berries. And yeah, when the boar has reached around 100 food, now it's at 210 at the moment. When the boar has reached 100 food, you can also send the next villager that is luring in the next boar. So this one goes on berries, and the next villager that comes out can start to lure in the next boar. Especially as it's moving away now. Yeah, you can go for the boar. It's right next to the mill now and lure it in. With the woman that is going to the berries. Hello?
Yep.
Yeah. Lure in the boar. The boar. Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, because now the villagers are exactly finishing this boar. And it takes some practice and some time and experience, but at some point you will get the perfect timing, I guess. Now the other villagers have to attack the boar too. And this villager that is being attacked, send him in the TC, please. Okay. Can you take 1 villager and just send him in the TC? There is a hotkey for it. I think it's T in the Definitive Edition. Yeah, yep. Because that's very important that you do that, because sometimes you have to do that so that you don't lose a villager. But okay, this is looking decent. I like that. I would say. And now you're almost even in score with the AI, so this is much better than the last 2 games. Okay, I'm posing a very stupid question now.
Yep.
When your villager is very low at health because he has stored in a boar and he is at like 6 health, for instance, 6 of 40, what is the best thing to do with his villager?
Uh, huh. I'd say either put him inside a building so he can heal,
Okay, yeah, okay, that would make sense, yeah.
or maybe send him like to, I'd say chop wood because it's farther away and there's less danger.
That's not too bad because your lumber camp is at the back of your base. So
Yep.
it would be pretty safe there. The idea of sending him into a building is also not that bad. For instance, if you want to make castles at the enemy's side and you put one villager into the castle so that he can heal, is also not a bad idea. But the problem is, if you put the villager inside of the TC all the time, he cannot work. And that means that every minute that this villager is not working, you're losing 20 resources. So a villager can chop up to 25 wood with upgrades in that time and collect like 20 food from a farm. So it basically would hurt your economy to send him into the TC until he is healed. What you can do, however, sorry, I had to mute myself again. What you can do, now you have a lot of people on berries. This is not that good. I don't really like that. You can take some people and make some farms around your TC of a mill. That would be better, especially with that many people on farms. And also you can make one more fishing ship or even two. What you do with the injured villager is that you make a farm with him next to the TC, because if the enemy comes with a raid attack and he wants to kill your villagers, you can immediately put your damaged villager into the TC as soon as they're approaching, and the damaged villager would maybe take like 2 hits or so from a scout to die, but the other villagers would take 14. So with the other villagers, you can either fight back, or you can walk, or you can make click walls or whatever, but it's much less likely that you lose these villagers because they can still defend to a certain degree. And so the damaged villagers should always be close to the TC so that you can pull them in if the enemy attacks. Because these are usually the first ones that are going to die. And usually if you play versus a halfway decent opponent, what he's going to do is to check your villagers. So he will click on them. And he's usually scouting or analyzing for villagers that are injured. And he will try to pick on the weakest villagers at first. Because if he kills them, that's the that's the easiest thing to do. And the thing is, it doesn't matter if a villager is injured or not. We still have the same eco income. So yeah, it's to your economy, it's just as painful to lose a damaged villager or an injured villager as a villager who has a full health. So yeah, just make sure that you find ways to protect your villagers that are injured, and best thing is to keep them close to the TC, because the TC is perfect protection. When they're in the TC, they cannot be attacked, and even the TC is shooting arrows. So usually, especially in Dark Age, the enemy is trying to avoid your TC because it can kill a scout very fast. And yeah, inside of a TC, that's the most secure place in Dark Age and in Feudal Age that any unit can be. So yeah, to keep it in short, damaged villager or injured villager goes to TC. Good. I think this was pretty decent. I would say we can start over now again. And I will also change the settings now in the lobby so that you can see the map and you know where to wall. And yeah, we can do some economy, and I will tell you when to wall and how to wall. And yeah, then we can boom to Castle Age and finally attack the enemy, if that's okay with you. Hello?
Can you hear me?
I can hear you, yes.
Okay.
Did you hear what I said?
Yes, I did. Yeah.
Okay, so we can make a new game now. I really like this one now because this was much faster. TC has been producing. Economy was halfway balanced, so I like that. And also one important thing, in the mill you get upgrades for the farms, and these upgrades make the farms more efficient. And before you have the first upgrade, you usually make like 3 or 4 or maybe 5 farms, but you don't go fully into farms before that. Because now this is basically the point where you would like to click up to feudal age, so that you can get the eco upgrades and just get to the next stage. And the problem is those normal farms will just make 175 food. And with the upgrade, it's 250, so it's much more worth to make farms that have upgrades. And you should always get the upgrades. Maybe not immediately in the next age, but at some point you should always get the upgrades, especially on Black Forest, which is a rather non-aggressive card or map. And that's one thing to keep in mind. And also there's one farm that is not being used. You can delete this one because this is just taking up 60 of your wood. So you can basically select this one and delete it. Yes, perfect. Okay, but this was much better than the first 2 games. Let's make a new one now. I'm jumping out of this one.
Sure.
Let's have a look. Oh, your economy. Both food collection and wood collection was better than the enemy. Your wood collection was even like twice the amount, and you had 600 more food. Or no, it's 524 more food. But this was pretty decent. If you do just as well or better in the next game, I think it should be easy for you to beat the enemy.
Okay.
Sorry, I'm still coughing a lot. It's not so easy.
No worries.
I've had a cold for about 2 months now. I've never been sick for such a long time ever before in my life. But it's not really like I have to go to bed or I have to stay in bed, rest in bed. So, but I'm really sick. It's just like I'm having a cold for over 2 months now.
Oh, yeah.
A friend of mine has a similar thing. This is because he had COVID and he has some long-time effects of COVID. So he's still battling with COVID, which he had like half a year ago. And still has some side effects because of that. Where is he? Kratos. There you are. Did you receive my invitation?
Yes, I did.
Okay, awesome. Good, let's add one AI. Let's change the map setting to explored so that you can see. Actually, I can put this one to all visible. No, I put it to explored. Okay, because when it's all visible, when I put it to all visible, you can also see what the enemy is doing. But I don't think this is necessary. And this is usually you don't play like that. All visible is like when you're playing Stronghold Crusader. But Stronghold Crusader, it's for children, and Age of Empires is much more advanced than that. So I think, Age of Empires is much more of a mature game, and playing with all visible, that's like for extreme noobs or for like children or so that are playing versus AI. I don't think we need that. Good, let's go to team 1. You want to play Japanese now?
Yeah, I'm just trying out as many civilizations as possible.
Okay.
So...
I'm just asking because Japanese are more infantry and archer civ.
Yeah.
And you said you want to go into knights, so if you want to go into knights, Franks makes more sense also. But the thing with Franks is that as soon as you're reaching feudal age, you're getting the farm upgrades for free. So I think Franks is much more of a beginner-friendly civ. And I would suggest Franks, but you can also take Japanese. The thing with Japanese is what I like is that the lumber camps and the mining camps have a discount of 50%. So you can basically build 2 for the cost of 1, which is always nice. Yeah, so we're not bad civ. I would even prefer Japanese to Franks on this map, or on most maps actually. It's just a kind of base style because we don't have... The Japanese don't have a very good cavalry. So if I have a look at the cavalry tech tree, I think we don't even have bloodlines. Oh, now we have bloodlines because in the standard game we don't have that. Yeah, you can take whatever you want. You can also make knights with a Japanese and cavalier even. That doesn't really make a difference. We're just Basically, we're an infantry civ, but very often you also see them being played as an archer civ. But yeah, okay. I'm talking too much.
No, don't worry.
Let's put in good luck, have fun. Whoops. And we can start the game. I will send you again my sheeps or my cows. And yeah, when I'm watching you.
Malay.
Malay, okay. We're a water civ. But we're also very strong on other maps because we have an advantage that we can move up faster to other ages, or to the next age. And that's usually also an economy bonus, because that means that we can pull out 2 more villagers. So, let's resign. Yes. Oh, very good. You're building the houses again next to each other. TC is already pumping out the villagers. Yo, you found the first cows. That's awesome. You can send them to the TC. The TC is producing or not?
It is, yes.
Okay, awesome. Now send the villagers to the first cow.
Yep.
Yeah, awesome. Oh, and you also set a gathering point already. That's awesome. But don't butcher too many cows. The third cow, please leave it alive until the other ones are eaten. Yeah, now you can take the scout and do some more scouting. And you found another cow, awesome. You can take the scout and go a little bit to the south. Sometimes what pro players are also doing, what you very often see, is that we are scouting the sheep or the cows. But this is a little bit more advanced. We can do it once the build order can be applied very well. Yeah, send them to VTC.
Okay.
And the 3 cows that I sent to you also on the way. So that's another additional food that you are getting there. Another 450 food. Okay, what's your pop cap now? What's your pop?
It's 15 for the moment.
And you have
7.
7. Okay, that means that the next 4 ones can go on wood. You can make a gather point on the wood line in the east, for instance. And if you look close,
to the north or to this west.
Well, I would suggest you to go to the east and put a lumber camp there, but you can put it anywhere. The north is also decent. And I would make a lumber camp there anyways later on. But yeah, you're Japanese, it doesn't really matter. You can even make 2 ones if you really want to.
Yep.
TC is producing villagers.
Yes.
Awesome. Send them on the tree that is next to the lumber camp, so that we have a gathering point there.
Okay.
And now your pop is at 12, I think.
10. Yep.
10. Okay. Still 10. This is awesome. Lumber camp has been built. Yep. Okay, if you want to wall the enemy out in this game, but let's focus on economy first. There are 2 points where you have to wall. One is in the east of you, and one is in the south of that. There is some kind of tunnel. Do you see that? Like some very long tunnel. And you have to wall both, basically. Usually, when we are in a team game, I would do the tunnel because that's my side, and you would do the one that's in the east of you.
Okay.
Yep. Good. You have 4 on wood now. I like that. It's a shame that you don't have a nice pond there.
Yes, to the more east. It's on the east side. The pond. It's behind the forest.
Yeah, but this is also, it only has 2 fish, I think. Yeah.
2
I wouldn't do that. No. If there is 3 or 4, I would always do it, but with 2, I wouldn't really suggest it.
Okay.
Yeah, but this is looking good. You can make. Now you have enough on wood.
Houses.
The next villager can go to the berries and make a mill there.
Okay.
And after the berry villager, you can make a loom, and you can start to lure in the first boar. Okay, this villager can make another lumber camp.
Oh, another lumber camp. Wait.
In the north, or you make a mill, or mill is even better.
Okay, well, I was making a mill.
What I don't really like is these 2 houses. because you locked in one villager and you have to cut this one tree before the villager can drop off a resource. No, there's still a gap, but still, these two houses, the problem is we are blocking the lumber camp and we are making your economy less efficient. So I don't like the placing of these houses. So if it's 2 more tiles also away from the lumber camp, it's okay. Okay, it's in German we would say grenzwertig. So this is you can still do it like that, but this is not perfect. But it's kind of okay still.
Okay.
Good. Another villager on the way, or is Loom on the way? Loom is already built. Okay. It's already researched. Then make more villagers, please. Then you can lure in the first board to VTC now, if you take one of these villagers. And you can also send the next 2 villagers on the berries. So if you make a gathering point on the berries, you can send in 2 or 3 more on the berries.
Yep.
It's always good to have a gathering point because if you don't, it's very easy to forget villagers that are standing around there. And you always can check for villagers that are not idle. Now attack the pig and don't lose your villager. You can also put the villager into the TC theoretically. Yeah, or like this. Okay. And now you make 5 on these. And don't send the guys on berries now. You still have cows that have to be collected. So send the next villager on the cows, please.
Yep.
Okay, this is looking good. So at school you have learned German and English. Is that correct?
And French.
And French.
Oui, bien sûr.
Et tu te souviens encore de cette langue ou ça ne marche pas?
Oui, je me souviens très bien de cette langue car j'étudie en cette langue.
Ok.
Le traumatisme. I study in French, so yep.
Et pourquoi tu as... why did you learn French in France, or why did you study in France?
I go to a French school in Italy, but I studied in France for my parents' job. So I just had, so.
Okay. So your parents moved to France with you?
Yeah.
Okay.
Then,
you can take 5 villagers now and send them to the boar and next to the mill. You can take these villagers that are okay, but these ones have been working. It's okay. Now go to the boar, and these other villagers take the cow. Yeah, awesome. Is the TC producing?
It just finished.
Okay. So, what have your parents been doing in France? What have they been working for?
Mainly for cars.
Okay. Also in the chemical industry?
No. Just marketing.
Okay. You can take now 4 of these guys, put them on the next trees. And then, take these ones, put them on the trees. And then there are 2 left or 3 left, and you can put them on gold already. Take 3 and make a mining camp next to the gold in the south.
In the south? Yep.
And, And now you should have a lot of wood. You can make some farms.
Houses.
Yeah, make 2 farms and make 2 houses. How much food do you have?
740.
Then go to feudal age now.
Oh, feudal age. Okay.
Click on VTC, go to feudal age, and then there are still 2 villagers working there, not working there, and you can make 2 farms with them. Make 2 farms next to the. No. Take these villagers. Stop. F3. Stop. F3, please. 1 sec.
Yep. Sorry.
You take these 2 villagers, please, and you make 2 farms next to VTC. You have too many people on wood. That is, you always have to balance your economy to some extent.
Okay.
So these 2 villagers are not going to make houses. They are making farms. Please delete the 2 houses that are standing there. And then you take 1 villager from the wood line, and the villager is making 2 houses, please. Because otherwise you're not having enough food, but you're having too much wood. Hello? What are they?
Yep. Sorry. Just trying to. Yep.
Okay. Are you researching feudal age now?
Yes, I am.
Okay, because I cannot see that. Okay, so we make farms now. Yeah, awesome. You please delete the houses with who to get the resources back. Yep. And now you take one villager at the wood and make 2 houses, please, with him.
So where should I put the houses?
Pretty close to the lumber camp, but not so close that it is stopping or blocking the economy. And also, farms are drop-off points. You don't have to drop off the wood when you're making a farm. Take 3 other villagers, take 4 villagers from the wood line. Take 4 of them and make 4 more farms next to the TC to balance your economy. How much wood do you have?
1,400.
1,400. Okay, that's a lot, of course. That's much too much. So yeah, just make farms with these people. Yeah, and take another one from the wood and make another farm. Because now you have you're building 4 farms, but there's not enough villagers on there. For instance, this woman there's one woman that is not working. You can send her on a farm.
Yep.
And you can also already click on the TC. You can set the gather point next to the on the tree that is next to the TC. And you can already put a villager into the line, so that after reaching feudal age, you will immediately get your next villager.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and now you have 4 houses, 6 houses on TC. You have 35 pop space. How much do you use of that? Like 20?
I'm 26.
How much?
26.
26. Okie dokie. There's one guy at the mill who's not doing anything. He can make a farm.
Okay, yep.
Yep. Awesome.
Oh.
Theoretically, if you send your scout to my farm, to my village, there are still some cows standing around. You can still get the cows before the enemy gets them. So that would be another 450 food. I think that's a good idea to do that now. And you're in feudal age before the enemy. That's awesome. And I guess you're probably already at 300 gold or something like that.
340, yes.
340, awesome. Because that means that you can soon go to castle age. How much food do you have?
1,200.
1,200? Okay, that's very good. Take 3 of the villagers from the wood and make a market with 2 people and a blacksmith with 1 person. 2 people for the market, because markets take a longer time to build. Yeah,
okay.
take these 3 people and make a blacksmith and a market in the north. Yeah, usually if you're in a team game, it's a good idea to place the market very far away. So you would place the market at the corner of the map, and that is because the farther away the market, the more gold you get. So it's like exponential, like twice the distance is like 4 times the gold, basically.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, it's always very important to have a good trade way, but that's for team games, and we don't have to talk about that at the moment. We just focus on economy in this video. Okay, and now when you have built the market and the blacksmith, you can go to castle age.
Yep.
So you're going to research castle age now?
Yep, I'm doing it.
Do you want to attack with knights? Do you want to attack with infantry, with archers? Usually knights or with infantry. Okay.
Or maybe archers, since Japanese, if I remember correctly. I mean, historically they were good archers, so I guess it reflects on the game.
The thing is, it's usually most effective to attack either with knights in castle age or with crossbows. Mm-hmm. But for both, you need to have a lot of gold. How much gold do you have?
310. 330.
Okay, then you should click on the mill and click on the lumber camp and on the mining camp and get the eco upgrades so that your farms get better and also that you're collecting wood faster. Actually, the one for wood is the most important. You should get this one first. So your job is now first click on the lumber camp and get the eco upgrade for the lumber camp, then on the mill, and then on the mining camp to get the gold upgrade.
Okay, I did everything.
Okay, awesome. How much wood do you have now?
1,100.
Okay, now you take one villager and you make a barracks, because in order to be able to build a stable or an archery range, you have to build a barracks first.
Where should I put it?
Put it right next to the gold, in the east of the gold.
Okay.
Yeah. Awesome, you're on Castle Age. Make more villagers, please. And now you can make a new TC also. Please take 4 people from the wood and make a TC next to another gold income. That could be in the north of the TC or in the east of the TC. There are 2 gold patches and it would be nice to put a TC next to it.
Is that good?
This is good, yeah.
Okay.
So, how much wood do you still have?
900.
900, okay. Can you buy the upgrade for the lumber camp for the next wood upgrade?
Yes.
Because in every age, feudal age, castle age, and imperial age, there are upgrades. Sometimes you don't have all of them because the tech tree doesn't have them all, but
yeah. Should I buy also the one for the farms?
Yes, of course.
Okay.
But prioritize wood first, because after all, it's both actually a wood upgrade, because the one is making you get wood faster, and the other one is making you spend less wood. Because if the farms have more food on it, you still have the same collection rate, you don't get more food, but it takes more time until you have to build a new one. So you're basically also just saving wood. So it's both upgrades are basically a wood upgrade.
Okay.
And you also can take the villagers now that are on the wood. There are 3 villagers that are chopping wood next to the TC, and you can go to the south and build another TC next to the stone there.
Okay. Yep.
And always keep your TC active. And then also important at the barracks. Yep, awesome. This is a good position. I like that. This one guy that has built the barracks. Yep. He can now, the woman, not the guy, go to the east, please, and make 2 archery ranges with that woman, please.
Yes, sir. To the east, right?
Yeah, but not too far. Yeah, like there is perfect, and make just 2 archery ranges there. Okay, and now the new TC can also produce new villagers that are going to go on gold.
Right.
Japanese. I'm having a quick look at the Japanese tech tree. Okay. You also have gold shaft mining. You can also buy that.
Yep.
Okay, first archery is done. That's awesome. In the blacksmith, you can now buy the upgrades. You can buy for range units. It's best to buy the attack upgrade first. If you're having infantry or knights, it's best to go for the defensive upgrade, for the armor upgrade first. But with as you're going on archers, get the fletching first. This is this arrow symbol. Do you already do it?
Yeah, I'm done. Yes, okay. I did it now.
How much wood do you have?
350.
350, okay. Can you take 1 villager and make a university, please? And don't forget to keep the TCs pumping. The other TC in the west, you can make some villagers that go on wood there, and you can also make a new lumber camp there. And also the first TC that you started with, make more villagers that go to the east on the first lumber camp. And the third one in the south, make more villagers that chop wood that is next to it. Okay, are you producing villagers?
Yes.
Okay, awesome. Are you also producing archers from the archery ranges?
Not at the moment.
Okay, then make like 8 archers, so every one of them is producing 4. You probably already got the upgrade at the blacksmith. Can you buy the next one, the next aggressive upgrade?
Yes.
It's called Bodkin Arrow.
Houses. Yep, I should build more houses.
Yep.
And I don't have enough wood.
How much wood do you have?
60.
Okay. But now you have more people on wood. The archers, they don't cost so much wood, they more cost gold. It's 45 gold and 25 wood. Yeah, this is looking good. I like that. And yeah, you can make new houses, of course, if you want to make military now. And also, there are 2 people that are finished with the farms. You can make two new farms there. Or how much food do you have?
1,700.
Okay. Then you can take these 2 guys that are on there on the farms, and you can send them on wood now.
Yep. Should I make more? Maybe I should take them and make more houses.
Yeah, make 3 more houses first.
Wait, no, just.
You can make the houses next to the lumber camp or at the corner or at the sides of the map. Most important is just that the houses are not in the way of your own economy. In team games, it's also very clever to use the houses as barricades so that you block off the way to the enemy with houses. That's a good idea. So you can basically also use houses like walls. So we have like a double function. Like we are a wall, but also providing a living space. That's something that you see very often.
Okay.
Where do you build the houses now? I don't see any new houses. Okay. I'm seeing it now. Did you get the botkin arrow at the blacksmith?
Yes, I did.
You can now click on the university and get ballistics. Ballistics means that your archers will be able to correctly hit moving targets, because if you don't have it upgrade, they cannot hit moving targets very well.
Yep.
Okay, what's your pop now and your pop cap?
Pop cap 60, population 48.
Okay, that's awesome. How much archers do you have? 3, 6, 7. You can make 2 more archers.
And making 1 other.
You can make 2 more archers, and then you will research crossbow, please. And you also research thumbring. Thumbring means that your archers fire faster, and we have 100% accuracy. So
yep.
in combination with ballistics, that's very strong, of course. Okay, and once you have done that, I think you can go to the enemy space and attack him, because the enemy is pretty far behind you in economy, much less people on gold, and only 1 barracks. And
okay.
And he doesn't even have a stable yet. Okay, now he's making a siege workshop. That's a little bit annoying, but yeah, what you can do is, how much wood do you have?
980. 1,000.
Then you can make 2 stables and also send in 2 or 4 knights with that. So there's 1 TC in the south. You didn't make any new villagers there.
Oh yeah.
You can take these women from stone, for instance, and make 2 stables now. And then you can make new villagers from this TC, and also don't forget to make villagers with the other TCs. As I told you, normally you try to get 50 to 60% of your pop cap to be villagers. So if you're playing with a pop cap of 200, that means that 100 to 120 people of that should be villagers, and only the rest should be military.
Okay.
So don't forget to make new villagers all the time. Okay. We are making forward stables. Okay. And now you can take the archers.
Yes.
Give them a control group with control and 1, and you go to the east and you attack the enemy now.
And should I use a special formation or just?
No, just normal formation. And yeah, what you can do is you can press D or the symbol that is third. That means that they are not moving from their position if you don't tell them to, because if you don't do that, sometimes they run into TCs and you are losing archers, and this is a painful experience that you should try to avoid.
Okay.
How much stone do you have?
470.
470, okay. And how much gold do you have?
2,500.
Can you please click on the market and buy 200 more stone?
Yep.
Because you need 650 for 1 castle. Have you enough stone now?
Yep.
Okay, now take the archers and take the 3 villagers. One sec. Go back with the archers to the villagers, because there is a bear that you have to kill first. Take the 3 villagers that have built the stables. Make 2 knights or 4 knights. Kill the bear, yeah. Take the villagers. And now you can take the villagers alongside with the archers, and you can build a castle at the enemy's base. This is very strong. This is called a castle drop. This is a very common strategy. You see it very often in online games. Yep, take the villagers.
Should I wait for the knights?
The knights are pretty fast. We can come after that. We will catch up because we are faster. We're cavalry, so we're always faster. Yeah. The knights are basically just there if he makes mangonels so that you can kill the mangonels. Oh, and he also made already 2 knights. But we don't have upgrades and your archers have the upgrades. So that should work pretty well. At the blacksmith, you can also buy the first armor upgrade for the knights. Oh, now you already have 3 knights. I like that. This is looking good. Maybe the archers should go before the villagers so that we can always defend. Yeah, awesome. The villagers, yep. Go on. Yeah, if you walk in, you will see that the enemy has some people on gold there. No, don't attack the buildings with the archers. That's not efficient. And now he's coming in with some knights. Yeah, put the knights in between. Awesome. You're using them as a meat shield, basically. That's very good, what you just did intuitively.
Okay.
Yep, good work. Now you can go on and take the villagers with you. And you will see that he has some people there on gold. And you kill the pig, okay. Kill the military maybe first. Yeah. This is looking good. Now you can take the 3 villagers and build a castle right next to the stone and the gold. And there's a knight coming in. Yes. Yeah, good work. Take the 3 villagers, please, and make a castle. Yeah, this is a good position. Yeah, I like that. This is looking very good, actually. There are more knights coming in. Now there's a mangonel. Kill the mangonel. Because the mangonel is a very dangerous threat to your archers. Yeah. Take it down. Awesome. Defend your villagers. This castle won't go up. That's not good. You should have made more archers and more knights. How much resources do you have now?
300, 400, 300, 3,000 food, 3,000 wood.
And how much gold do you have?
3,000.
Okay, then make more archery ranges, make 2 more archery ranges and 1 more stable and just produce more units. Just make like, you can also go to Imperial Age now, if you want to. Yep. Oh no, you cannot, because you have not built a castle and you have not built a second building. Yeah, 1 sec, what can you do? Make a siege workshop at your base. There are now 3 villagers standing there at the 1 TC. Make a siege workshop with them.
Okay.
Make more knights, please. Make more archers, and also take 1 person from the gold maybe, and make another archery range so that you can produce more units.
Mm-hmm.
And for now, the castle is still occupying the opponent because we're attacking it. This is not even bad because that buys you time. But the thing is, before it goes down, you have to destroy it because otherwise you don't get back the resources that you have not spent yet. So I will tell you when to delete the castle, but you have to delete the castle in about 2 minutes or something like that. Yeah, and you're making knights. Awesome. And archers. And finish the siege workshop, please, first. You don't have to send in villagers to delete the castle, by the way. You just have to press on delete and when it's gone. You made another archery range, awesome. Now you can go to Imperial Age and go to the next age.
Yep.
Okay, this is a decent amount of archers. I like that.
It's
Send some more. Are you up on your way up to Imperial Age now?
Yes.
Okay. In the north of your first TC, there is some more gold. You can take some of the people that are on the wood line. like five people that are on the east, on the wood line. Take 5 of these people and make a new mining camp so that you can get the last gold there. Yeah, this is looking good.
Make more houses.
Yeah, you should make more houses, of course. Now you can delete the castle, please.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, awesome, because otherwise you would lose your resources. As you can see, you now got some stone back. How much stone do you have now?
400.
Then please buy 300 more stone so that you can do a castle drop again. And make more archers, because you have to produce more. Make 6 more archers, please. And with one guy that is not doing anything at the archer range, he can go back to gold or make another woodline there. Okay, the enemy now has like 5 horses, 5 knights. There's a monk coming your way. He wants to collect the relics. You can kill him with the archers. Take the archers in the east. He's coming your way. He's almost where you are. Yeah, awesome. Great work. And once you're in Imperial Age, please buy the next upgrade at the blacksmith, and then also buy chemistry at the university, and buy the arbalest upgrade at the archer range, because then your archers will be much stronger. Yeah, awesome. Blacksmith upgrade first, please.
Yes.
Then at the university, chemistry, please.
Yep.
Take the villager that is on the right of university and make 3 more houses, please.
Villager that's right of the university.
In the east of university, there's a villager standing.
Oh, yeah.
And that villager can make 3 houses. Or 2 houses. And now build Arbalester in the archer range.
Yep.
Take the 3 villagers that are at the houses there. Take these villagers, send them to the village of the enemy, and also send in your knights and your arbalesters.
Yep. I'm just making 1 more archer. Let me just...
Okay. You can also buy some more upgrades at the blacksmith for the knights, for instance, or you can also buy cavalier at the stable for the knights. Cavalier is much stronger than knight.
Yep.
Okay, now take the arbalest, take the knights, and take the 3 villagers, and we will repeat what we did in the last try and make a castle there and kill his knights and so on. But now you have the much better units, you have much better upgrades, and you have much more units. So I think this time it should really work now. And once you're at the enemy's base and you have built the castle, you can also make trebuchets. And I think once the first trebuchet is out, this game is over, basically.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you can scout in with the knights at first and see what he's doing. He also has a mangonel there. So it's good that you're sending in the knights first. And then the arbalesters with you and the workers. It's always important when you make a castle drop, it's always important that you keep the villagers safe. Just have to... we have to be able to build up the castle, and if you die too early, that's problematic, of course. Also, there's one thing at the university, you can still buy treadmill crane. That means that your villagers will construct faster. You can do that. Oh, you killed the mangonel. Oh, awesome, awesome, awesome. This is looking good. Now take the 3 villagers, please. Yeah, you can scout with the cavalier now. You can scout in the economy and see what we are doing. You can even... can you delete this castle? One sec.
Yep.
Send the arbalesters back and the cavalier back, because otherwise you are losing. You are losing them versus the TC. The TC is shooting arrows. Delete the castle, please. Send back the cavalier. How much stone do you have now?
630.
Then please buy more stone at the market.
Yes,
Keep your villagers safe. How much stone do you have now?
Enough.
Okay, then build...
730.
Okay, knight coming in, yeah, awesome. Take these 3 villagers and build the castle close enough to the TC that you can shoot on it, but the TC cannot shoot on you. So if you build, for instance, in the east of the gold, that would be a very good position for the castle, because then, yeah, this is a good position, yeah, I like that. Yeah, and you're shooting down the knights. Awesome. So you see, once you've reached a critical mass, that's what we call it in this game, a critical mass of units, of archers, you can basically also counter knights with it. You just have to be careful when you comes with mangonels. Maybe you should send the cavalier to the siege workshop of the enemy, because the most dangerous thing there is mangonels that are coming out. You don't necessarily have to destroy the siege workshop. You just have to make sure that when mangonels are coming out, that your archers are safe, because some of your archers have taken quite a shot from the first mangonel. And mangonels are basically the most dangerous thing for archers. Mangonels and later on onagers if you upgrade them. Yep, and the stable is down. I like that. It's looking very good now. And I think at this point VI basically has no answer, because a stable is down and he only has a barracks now. Now the siege workshop is down. Yeah, and he basically cannot even make any units that could counter this. So castle is up. Awesome, awesome, awesome. As Japanese, you have very good traps. You have an upgrade that is called Catapulto. Oh, and VI already does resign, because it sees the castle and knows, oh, I don't have any chance. But what you could have done now is in Imperial Age, you can make a trebuchet. And you could have put the trebuchet next to the castle, and you could attack the town center and his monastery and so on. But yeah, this was pretty decent actually. I like how you sniped some of the mangonels with the knights and how the arbalesters were defending. Yeah, and this looked really good. Also, the economy was pretty decent. Yeah, this is not too bad actually. And I think the next time that we are training, we can get a step harder. Now you just defeated the standard AI, and I think next time you can defeat the medium AI the next time that we are training.
Sure.
Yeah. Okay. Do you want to play another one tomorrow or so, or when do you want to train the next time?
Yes, I have to see if I have time. I'll hit you up if I'm free.
Okay, awesome. Best thing is if you write me on Discord.
Yep.
Because on Steam, I think the messages get deleted after a day or so. So if you write me on Discord, that's okay. If you want to, I can also send you my phone number on Discord, and you can write me on WhatsApp, because WhatsApp, I usually check all the time. I have my phone always with me. So if you write me on WhatsApp, that's actually much easier for me, and you'll probably get a response like immediately. So yeah, if you want to, you can have my phone number, if that's okay with you.
Yeah, sure. You can send it.
Yeah. Good. So I think you can pat yourself on the shoulder now. I've made a similar coaching with a friend of mine, and he didn't do quite as well as you. So I think especially with the arbalesters and the cavalier work, that was pretty solid actually.
Thank you.
Yeah. And yeah, if you mix some more coachings with you, as I said, I have some friends that I play regularly with, and we are making TeamSpeak videos. Maybe at some point, if you can get you to be well enough for that, you can also participate in that. Like it's one friend that is always with me with that, and we also have two other friends that are sometimes there. So if you want to, you can be the third or the fourth person in the TeamSpeak videos if it's of your interest. But yeah, before we do that, we still have to practice a little bit. But this is looking okay. This is like your fourth game or so, but you've played in AOE, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, about.
So I think for your level of experience, that has been a very good game, and yeah, I think it also has been quite decided, especially the army control, because I can have a look at the statistics, but I think your eco was much better, and also your kill death ratio. Yeah, like the enemy killed 50 of your units, killed 18, you killed 50. So, he only lost 17 units, so he must have killed one of his units with a mangonel shot. Yeah, your eco was of course much better, because you have been producing villagers out of the TCs all the time. You didn't have so much idle time. I like that. Just next time, as you have seen, you have to produce more units, because the first attack failed because it didn't have enough units, and he was sending more units and more. and yeah, you just didn't have enough units there. So that's also an important thing. It's not enough to make some units and attack. You also have to keep in mind to keep producing, because otherwise the enemy will outproduce you, which is exactly what happened at the enemy's city. Yeah, but you had some decent uptimes. Feudal Age 1836 is a little bit slow, of course, but it's not super slow. Like a friend of mine, he has like 4,000 hours of experience, and he has the same times basically, and also 23 minutes for Grass Age. Okay, it's not fast, but if you get you under 20 minutes, I think that would be decent enough to play with us. And yeah, Imperial Age is of course also a little bit late with 50 minutes, but everything that is like 40 minutes or faster than that is decent enough for a noobs lobby, I would say. And you also made much more villagers. You made 43 villagers, you only made 17, and of course you have outproduced them because of that. I mean, you had like 3 times, or 2.5 times the economy, and so of course you could produce much more units. But I think the most important thing is that you collected much more gold, because that way you could send in knights and arbalesters and whatever, and because you were much faster in the times, your units were much more developed, because upgrades are actually quite important in this game. It's like day and night if you compare a normal archer to an arbalester with full upgrades. So yeah. Yeah, but this, as I said, this was pretty decent. I like that. And let's have a look how long we have been recording. Yeah, we've been recording for 1 hour and 46. If we exclude the explanations and the technical problems in between, I would say, yeah, it's a decent 90 minutes of coaching time. And yeah, I would say after 1.5 hours of coaching time, you basically got the concept of the game, how to make a castle drop, how to build your arbalesters, how to build your economy. Yeah, I think for 1.5 hours of coaching time, you learned quite a lot in this session. Of course, I don't expect you to remember all these things, so next time that we play, I probably have to repeat a lot of things because it's simply too much input. It's not possible to learn everything in one evening, but yeah, I think you got a basic overhaul, and yeah, I'm excited to see what we are going in the future with that. And yeah, also if you want to, we can also finish We Were Here, if you're interested in that.
Yeah, sure.
But it's however you want. If you want to play Age, it's also okay for me. It's just how you want in the end.
We can finish We Were Here. Well, actually, you know what? If the game wasn't bugged, the game was finished.
Yeah, but I thought there was like another level that you have to do.
No, there wasn't. The one with the doors, the end.
Okay. So we were at the end, but we couldn't finish it because you were stuck there. Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. It's actually funny because I was playing. I was making another video series with a friend of mine because we were looking for 3 games on Steam that you can play in multiplayer. And We Were Here is basically one game that was in our common list. So we both had that, and we were unsure whether to play Unturned or We Were Here at the one evening. And then we tried Unturned, but it didn't really work, and my friend tried to make an own lobby, but yeah, it just didn't really work, and then we got frustrated and we left, or he left on this evening because he had to do something. And then I just tried out We Were Here, just to try it out. And it's actually funny because most of my videos on my channel are Age of Empires content. I think like 300 of my videos are for Age of Empires. Most of it is HD version, but also some definitive edition. And it's pretty funny actually, because I just wanted to make like a small game in the evening, and I thought, yeah, let's try out We Were Here before we play it in the video or play it in a stream or something like that. And when I met you, and now again we are playing Age of Empires because you also had the game installed, and it's pretty weird actually how this is going. Like I'm making Age of Empires videos, and when I'm meeting in person, and when we are playing Age of Empires together, it's pretty weird if you think about it. But also it's pretty weird that you resemble a friend of mine, because I already told you in the last session. I was repeating my school degree to go to university when I was 25. And or I had it when I was 25, so I repeated it with 24 and then did 2 years of schooling again. And next to me there was a person, and he was also a little bit nerdy. He had Asperger's autism, and I don't know if you have that, but I could imagine, or you don't have it. It's okay. But he looked like Leo, and he had pretty much the same voice. And back then he had short hair or middle long hair, but later on, when I have seen a picture of him on Facebook, he had pretty long hair, and Leo also is pretty thin, has black long hair. And the best thing is, Leo wants to study chemical engineering, something like that, right?
Yep.
Chemical engineering. And Kevin was his name. My friend Kevin, who was always sitting next to me at the school. He was a chemistry nerd, and he was very good at chemistry. And he was always talking about some things that you can mix and some crazy reactions. And he was always watching these chemistry videos in the breaks. So during lunch break, he was watching like crazy chemical reactions and how scientists were basically reacting there. And it's pretty funny because there are so many resemblances between him and Leo that Leo started to think that he is a doppelganger.
It might be possible. I mean, honestly.
I mean, it's not 1-to-1, but we are pretty. We have a lot of things in common, at least. And I think if you had met him, or if you had gone to the same school at this time, I think that probably you would have liked each other, and it's really pretty imaginable if you had gone to the school, but you would have sat next to him and not me, because, as I said, you have a lot of things in common, and I think also the games that you are playing and so on, you probably would have liked each other pretty much, I guess. Yeah, but it's always funny at some stage in life, because I'm 30 now, and are you still here, Leo, or are you?
Yes,
okay.
I'm listening.
Okay, because you are a very quiet person, yes.
Yeah.
When you are 30, it's really funny, because at some point life feels like it's always the same. You always meet the same kind of people, like the introverted, the extroverted people, or the nerdy people, the sport people, and so on. And it's really like all the new people that you are meeting are just like some mixture of old people that you've already met. And sometimes you meet people that are almost exactly a copy of another person, and it really feels strange. Or another time I can remember, I've been at an Indian restaurant, and we were ordering, and the whole family, I was there with my family, we felt really awkward there. And the waiter noticed that, but he didn't ask why that is. And the reason is, the waiter, he looked exactly like my computer science teacher that I had for 3 years at school. He had the same body shape, the same height, even the same voice, but he was Indian, so he had he had brown skin. But the teacher, as normal German person, he had white skin, and he looked like my computer science teacher, who had gone to some kind of solarium and had gotten a 10 at a Sun Studio, something like that. And that was a really weird moment for the whole family there, because it really felt like this guy is just my computer science teacher with some makeup, or with a tanned skin there. And this was really weird, because the resemblance was so close after all that we were all looking at him and wondering, is it this person? But when realizing, no, it's this guy is actually from India originally, but he looks like my teacher, and this was really, really weird. Or another incident I can remember, we have a friend in Switzerland that we have met pretty often, so it's a good friend of us. in Switzerland, and when we met another guy on holidays, and he almost looked exactly the same. And when you meet doppelgangers of people that you know, it's such a strange and weird feeling. It's really weird. But statistically, everyone has 5 doppelgangers, I think. So if you're a European person, you have like 5 doppelgangers, and I think if you're Chinese or Indian, chances are you have like 20 or 30 doppelgangers in the world. So it's really crazy.
Yeah.
One time also my father met his doppelganger. It was in England. We were walking down the street. And also the woman on his side, she didn't quite look like my mother, but also there was a certain resemblance. And it was not only meeting your own doppelganger, but also the wife was looking pretty close. And when we've seen each other, we were like in shock, like really scared, because it's just like do you know the movie The Matrix with Neo?
Yeah.
With Keanu Reeves? It's like the Matrix is broken, like you see a doppelganger of yourself, and when even the wife looks similar or has a certain resemblance to your wife, it's really strange. It's really like the Matrix is broken, so it's a really scary thing to happen. Yeah, but this happens.
Yep.
It makes me think about another story where we had 2 twins. And one has, we are 2 given for, how do you call it? We weren't raised by their parents, we were raised by some foster families. And we lived apart from each other, but only like 5 or 6 kilometers, something like that. And one day we met, and yeah, it's pretty funny actually to think about it. Or I think it was more than 5 kilometers, like 10 or 12, something like that. But the funny thing is, of course, we were twins, so we were looking exactly the same. And we had incidences where friends have told them, "Oh, I've met you, or I've seen you at the supermarket like 2 days ago or so." And we always said, no, I haven't been at the supermarket 2 days ago. I've been to another city. What you say there, that's completely incorrect. And when the twin was basically living in the neighbor town, and so of course people that we know, or that both maybe have known, have seen them, and this caused a lot of coincidences where basically people thought that we are meeting one person, but when it was the twin of that person, and it's sometimes so crazy what life throws at you with all these twin mix-up stories and doppelgangers and so on. And if you've seen that like 3 or 4 times or more often than that, it's really crazy. Okay, good. So much about that. It's just something that went through my mind now. I'm talking too much, I know, but I think these are some interesting stories after all.
Yep.
Yeah, you see, I'm a talkative person. Sometimes you have to stop me, because when I talk too much and it's not interesting to you, I don't notice that, so you have to tell me.
That's alright. I like to listen to people.
Do you like to listen to people? Okay, that's always nice.